Hello folks, well we've got another Planet 2000. No we haven't. This is another Manor Kestrel. It's a scrap one. I'd like to see if we can resurrect it. And it's got no knobs on it. But luckily we've only got 2 scrap chassis, but this scrap chassis, which is a Planet 2000, has got the other knobs. So we'd only be 1 knob short, wouldn't we? Can I find my test mic which says Cybernet on it? Perhaps I've given it away to somebody. I send sets back, you know, with power leads and mics, and then the customer says, "You've given me an extra power lead. Can I pay you for it?" Oh, whoops, you know. So, probably because the phone rings puts me off, and it's always one of those fake things. I've just opened my emails, and there's. According to my email from eBay, I've spent £700 and something on something called an Apple Smartwatch 10. Well, of course I haven't, so delete. And there, now I've stopped looking. You see how that happens? The minute I stop looking, it's actually on top of the spectrum analyzer. I'll put that back with the Harrier. So this is standard wiring. There's wires dangling out of these that when I trace them through, somebody's disconnected the tone control and turned it into something else. I suppose really I ought to take the bottom off and just make sure that it isn't some amphibious landing craft underneath. That was a good line out of Faulty Towers, wasn't it? Well, it was on top of the pile. I mean, that looks splendid. It's even got the relay. It's even got the relay cover. Broken socket. We've got the replacements. We've got new power leads. It's had the extension speaker socket ruined and bypassed. Yes, so it's a mess, but I think basically we've got enough there. Right, we're going to power it up 13.8 volts. No messing about. Oh, of course we've got to connect it up to this dodgy power lead. At least it's got a fuse in the dodgy power lead. Right, well, it lights up. And let's go to PA. I've got my speaker, my SW711 speaker, plugged into the PA jack. Testing 1, 2. And it does nothing. I wonder if it's the PA jack that they've wrecked. I haven't got another of these to hand, otherwise I'd look at what the things are on the back. They're a bit. Just see if I can go over with the fiberglass brush and get enough whatever off. Of course, I can't see the fiberglass brush either. I can now. I've stopped looking for it. So that's what I'm going to have to assume. It's the PA jack that's been done away with. We won't do the PA bit then at this stage. It's spoiling my routine. What we can do is tick off the meter lamp. Woo! That's 40 minutes I don't have to waste. Let's go into transmit, see what happens. Switch picture in picture on so you can see if it does something. Put it on the 3 watt scale and it does 3 watts. And I can hear the Roger bleep. 3 watts. You don't normally get more than 3.6 on these either. But this transmitted audio is so superb. Channel 40, 3 watts. Channel 1, a bit more, 3.1. Low power, we'll go back to channel 20. Lower scale, oh, that's pretty close, 450 milliwatts. Transmit current back on full power, 1.06 amps. We don't have a VCO method. Just see if there's any deviation on this test set. While it's reading 2.8, but we can't believe that. And the test for the frequency is 27,79111. Pretty close. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do the frequency now, because the test gear's been on for ages, and then we don't have to start fiddling about with the signal generator on receive to a false frequency to compensate. I'll do slightly high. 27,79127, and of course it should be 27,79125. We'll just keep it, because the crystals drop with age, it's good sense to have them very slightly high. Let's go back to the main meter, and we'll also look at this meter. When I key it up, it says 4, whatever that's supposed to mean, because it's relative to SWR. So just remember, when we do the on the air test, I've got it on the aerial, it might swing across to the end stop. Still means I'm doing 4 watts or whatever it turns out to be doing. Converse, if it only just moves, it doesn't mean it's only doing 1 watt, it's still doing that amount of power because it's relative to SWR. Unlike modern sets where they're usually pre-programmed fake meters. So that's actually correct. That doesn't work. So we'll go to receive. I'll put 27,79125 into the signal generator, and let's see if we've got anything happening. There we go, and we'll put 1 microvolt on. Hello. There's something in the dry joint there, isn't there? It's like it's round there. I don't want to flex the board, I want to actually find it. I do have a vibrator on the bench, but I'd rather not show that. To be honest, I don't normally get dry joints, and usually it's you get hot areas so they unsold themselves after a lot of years. It's not like they weren't made right. There's something going on around here. I'll switch it off and we'll reflow some of those. I can't actually see anything. I've got it, folks, it's here. It's that. I'll just turn it off. Right, let's get some readings off it. Oh, we need the extension speaker. The test one, not the one on the wall. We're going to need the earth wire for this because it's an isolated chassis. There we go. Right, let's put the SINAD metronics on. Oh, gone and knocked it off frequency on the test set. Okay, we're back on frequency. dB, 0.85. 10 dB, 0.8. 20 dB, 1. Full squelch. I like these to be 100. This one is 720. Turn the squelch to full minimum. Signal generator to standby. Squelch to threshold. Signal generator back on. That was a flawed test. I got the signal generator in the wrong position. Try again. Pretty lousy, 2.4. Tone control disconnected. PA socket broken. 100 microvolts to see where the signal signal meter is. Oh, look at that, it's about bang on. It is, should be 100 for a CB, 100 microvolts for S9, and it's 190. So not too scary. I better go and take some parcels to the post office. Right, well, before we start doing any restoration things, let's see if we can get a tune-up on it. We're on channel 20, it's showed the main meter. At least it won't take 3 hours like I spent on that TTI set dismantling the display to no avail. Right. Now then, is that wax? No, that's some kind of sealing compound. That's frustrating, isn't it? Because I know what's going to happen. That one moves. Just see if I can scrape it away. It's like they've dropped paint down it. Everything else moves but that. And it's no good me saying, oh, well, it's probably in the right position. I've got to prove it is. That's it, it's moving. Yeah, I think it was in the right position. So this is doing 3.6. I'll just check that we haven't got a problem with this airspace one here. Just looks a bit funny at the bottom. It's good 3.6. I'll put 3.7 down. It's about the highest I've seen one of these. Anyone seen where I put the pen? Yeah, under the remote. Right, so change channel. Channel 40. 3.6 watts. Channel 1. 3.7 watts. Back to 20. .146. So it's giving us 700 milliwatts more, and it's only drawing 100 milliamps more, so that's good. Low power. Yeah, it's now over the top of 500. We'll get that twiddled. It's 400 milliwatts. include the deviation later on the other test set. Meter. Still on low power. It's exactly where it should be, so I don't need to adjust that. It's the preset at the back there. Okay, let's see whether we can improve receive. So we're on the test gear, aren't we? Yep. So we want 100 microvolts. We want to show you the oscilloscope. And we want to optimize the detector. Which is that one. It was already spot on. I'd be no good as a garage mechanic, would I? Going, I don't know who looked at this last. No, it was spot on. That'd be nice to get the receiver better. It's not out of spec, but I'd like to see better than 0.85 microvolts. This is why a lot of these sets are hated, because the receiver's so far out. First of all, I'm going to make sure this IF injection is right. No, it isn't. That's gained another few feet. And then we'll do the front end. Tiny gain there. Nothing there, that's right. I'm going to do these looking at the SINAD meter, which I've not got up on the screen, and I'm looking at the oscilloscope. I'm also looking at the S meter, because you can end up tuning the IFs the wrong way. You might get a fake better SINAD, but the meter's gone down, so I just need to verify that. I need to see. I'm going to move up the meter sensitivity so that I can use that, which is there. Good. Yeah, we've gained there, so I'll take the attenuation down. Massive gain there. Attenuate it further. That one was already spot on. I'll just go double check these. And then we're going to adjust to do not adjust, and this is at a time when people didn't have SINAD meters, and they probably didn't at the factory either. I can adjust that. And it is spot on. Just verify these again. Drop the signal. They just don't have the time in the factory to do it this meticulously. Right, let's see if we've got a new figure. Is this the communicator's flying machine? Well, it's 0.61 microvolts now. To 10 dB, 0.57, and 1 microvolt is now 0.78. That's better than you usually get on these. So we need to put the meter back right. 100 microvolts equals S9. So that's now back right. What else do we have to do? Squelch. So I want that to open at this point, which is 100 microvolts. Show you the attenuator. We're on 100 just there. Squelch is that one. Just not quite where I want it. I've got it to 200. So we'll drop the squelch now to minimum, turn a signal generator to standby, set the squelch on the radio to threshold. Just not quite doing 0.3. It's basically 0.95 microvolts. So I'll just check the switches. We know the Roger Bleak works. Channel 9 works. So I've got to find another set, and we need to copy the wiring for this tone control, which has been ruined for whatever reason. And find a socket like that. We'll probably find one of those on a scrap set. So I'll go and do those behind the scenes. Okay, so I've copied the wiring on that scrap chassis, and basically they've taken away the black link which goes to the next controller along with your RF gain, and then this purple one they'd got to the RF gain. So like it was at a permanent, I'm assuming that goes to a capacitor somewhere. If it doesn't work, we'll look into it further. I've done the power connector, so we've got one of Mr. Chippie's rather good leads. So these are the proper original connectors which haven't been available for years, and I've got these from a firm in Japan recently. I only discovered them in the last 9 months, and then I've taken a identical looking socket off a scrap Murphy mobile. It's the same type. So what I've got here is a communicator set, and this is one of our own sets, and hopefully, I mean, it's had a bit of mess, hasn't it, there. Hopefully, I'll just look at that wiring on this. Yeah, it's done the same way. We'll see what goes where and see if I can restore this. So I think we'll get rid of what's that? That's the goat wire to the speaker. Then you need the white wire to the speaker. They're both correct. black wire, yeah, that's why they put the splice in it, because the black wire also goes to the PA. I'd love to know what people do, you know, why. And this isn't like it's had some dodgy illegal modification. Why have they disabled the tone control? Yes, so they've just joined those together. So all we need to do is solder them onto that tag. It's not the nicest wire in the world to deal with this, and I'm not going to. Oh, the insulation melts so easily. If this was for aerospace, what you'd have to do is, for these particular wires, you'd have to use a lower melt solder. You just wouldn't order this type of wire, would you? Right, so that's that one on. And then that pin, they've shorted that to there. Yeah, basically we need to take the brown wire off that, put that back up there with its decoupling capacitor, and solder it to the pin. And then our brown wire, that's the one that needs the decoupling capacitor. I'll clip it off. Our decoupling capacitor, just cut that sleeving a bit shorter. Needs to go there, along with the brown wire. Back up. This time to this new power lead. Right, where's the mic? Again. So I'm going to plug our extension speaker in as it was. Just want to make sure it still works. Which it doesn't. And they'll go in the top socket. Okay, we've got no audio on either, so something's got missed. Right, folks, we'll wrap this up. I've done the socket, wired it exactly as the other set, and we have everything working normally. Oh, I haven't tried the tone control, so we're in public address. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Back to CB. Better put the extension speaker back in the right one. Right, tone control. It's a bit dirty, that. Are these ones with the rivets? Yep. Better? Right, I'm going to go over this with isopropyl alcohol, but we'll do that later, and I'll just temporarily put the lids on. Let's see if when we connect the lid, we've actually got some receive. Now, I think there was a lid avalanche, wasn't there? So goodness knows what they were doing with the tone control, and I think the PA socket was probably faulty and they bypassed it. So just for now we'll put a couple of screws in. Oh yeah. So what I've been going through for dry joints, it wants improving. And that Velcro wants a cleaner on it. I've got a Planet 2000 in a box coming this evening, and if that's in a box with a bracket, it's another bracket we can measure. So if I take my scrap chassis set and pinch the knobs, we're only then missing the channel selector one. I'm just going to look at how that's made. Yeah, it's just an ordinary. It's an ordinary knob with a inserted thing. I sent the paperwork back with the other one. You know, we had that repair about 10 days ago. So I sent the paperwork back with that. I do usually photocopy the paperwork. We're going to see. I think it's doing a little bit more power for what that's worth. It possibly could be slightly better on receive as well. So we'll see. Let's put it on the aerial. Turn the test. I never did deviation, did I? Oh, they're putting it back together. Deviation could be all over the place. The joke spider just fell off the test set. Somebody put that inside a radio repair in the hope of making me jump. One. slightly high. It's 3. So I have to deal with that. I have to get the paperwork because I can't see it. It's that one. So it wasn't that difficult to fix, it's more of the thing had been messed with rather than the faults. I've done drive joints, crack track around the audio IC as well. Right, test set off. We'll plug the aerial in. It's Friday evening. It's about 8 o'clock. Time Mr. Chippie was doing it on the air test. One Nano, Roger. There we go. Right, so thank you for watching another. What is it? Manor Kestrel.
Right, so if anybody out there is interested in a 600 litre IBC water container, I've got one for sale. It's what I paid for it, 60 quid. It's all fit to go, all washed out. Happy days. Give me a shout. If you don't hear me, have a look on Marketplace. It's at Nuttall, up for sale. Dip your bread.
Dip your bread. Somebody better put in the comment what that's supposed to mean. Thanks for watching.